For this video, we'll be talking about camera tracking. This is a really common tool in the visual effects industry, and I'll be covering the simplest form, which is adding text and motion graphics into our video. I'll be showing you two different ways you can camera track with DaVinci Resolve and Adobe After Effects. And at the end, I'll show you a third way, which might be my favorite when it comes to 3D tracking with 3D objects. So the first method I'll be showing you is in DaVinci Resolve. So we'll import our footage into DaVinci Resolve and put it into a timeline. And once you have it here, we're going to right click and open in Fusion Page. Now that we're in Fusion Page, if this is the first time you're seeing this whole thing, just stick with me. I'll show you the basics. What you'll get is two different nodes, your footage over here and your output. And pretty much what we're gonna do is add the effects in between these nodes to create the final output. So the first thing we'll do is hover on this connecting line and then press Shift Spacebar. Then we'll add an effect called camera track. On the side panel over here, we're going to tick preview auto track locations. What this will do is show us the tracking locations, and this detection threshold slider will give you more points to track, and this minimum feature separation slider will pretty much just decrease the distance between each tracking point. So you can decrease that if you want more tracking points. But I think I'm just going to leave it at where it is. But we're going to be taking bi-directional tracking. This will make sure we're tracking on both forward and backwards. So we're going to be just to make sure the track is accurate. We can just let it auto track. Once your track is finished, we can move on to the camera tab. And you can pretty much leave this all in the default settings. But if you do know your focal length of your camera, you can enter it right here. But for this tutorial, we'll just leave it as is. And then we'll go to the solve tab and then we'll click solve. Okay, so while we wait for that to solve, I wanted to talk about today's sponsor, Motion Ray. The footage and the motion graphics I use today are actually from Motion Ray. If you're looking to streamline your workflow, Motion Ray is a pretty good place to start with the wide range of assets like LUTs, video templates, music, voiceover, and motion graphics. Being able to find high quality assets like the ones I'm using has never been easier, especially with their new update in their motion graphics category. Their motion graphics are now pre-keyed, so you can just drag and drop them straight into your timeline without even trying to remove the background or messing with the blending modes. It's exactly what I'll be showing you in this tutorial, so stick around, and if you're interested in Motion Ray, I'll leave a link down in the description. And thanks again Motion Ray for sponsoring this video. Okay, now that's finished solving, it looks like we actually have a pretty good solve. Now what we aim for is actually to get less than 1 pixels in our average solve error. And it looks like our solve error is actually pretty good, around 0.468. But to make it a little bit better, I'm actually going to just decrease the maximum error, see if we can get a better track, maybe around here, and then click delete. And then we're going to solve. And we have 0.2357. That's really good. Now I'm going to go to export, and then we're going to go click export. And then you'll be getting 3 extra nodes. You won't be needing this camera track node anymore. So I'm just going to hold shift and then just drag that to the side, hold shift again, click this camera tracker, and then connect it to the media out. And then we actually don't need the bottom 2 nodes here, so I can just delete them. And then just to clean that up a bit, like that. Okay, so now that we have this, we're gonna add a text over here, and you can just do that by clicking here. And then you can just easily connect that to the merge node. But to add an image, you actually need an image plane, so we're gonna do that by holding shift space again, and then search for image plane. And then once it's over there, we're going to connect that to the merge node. And then go to our media pool and find our image or video in this case. I'm going to choose this one. And then I'm going to connect it to the image plane. So we have something like that. And that is super cool, man. We're going to customize our text here on the side panel. So it's going to write, I don't know, something. Alien. To visualize all of this in 3D space, you can actually go down here, just hover over the camera 3D node, and then click the left view circle. And then what I like to do is right click around here, and then click top. And then we'll zoom out a little bit, And you can pretty much, if you select your camera thing, you can kind of see all your tracking points. And then if you select your image plane and your text, you can kind of see where they are. To move them around this 3D space, you can either use these arrows over here, or go to the side and then click transform, and then mess with the translation values. So the Z value, the Y, it looks like it's all the way at the back over there. So if we zoom in, you can kind of see our camera path right here. We want the objects or the text to go past the camera, if you know what I mean. So if you're looking at the camera path, it's not crossing where the text is. So we're just going to bring the text all the way at the front over here. And then I'm just going to lower it down with the y-axis like that. Just going to play around a little bit. And yeah, I mean, you pretty much get what I'm trying to do here. I guess I'll add another one. Let's balance this out, eh? That's kind of cool. I think I'll move this back, actually. Move this all the way back. Like that. Yeah, you know, that's cool. Okay, let's move on to After Effects before I get carried away with this. Alright, so we'll make a new composition. And now, super easy, have your footage selected, and then go to Effect, go to Perspective, and then Camera Tracker. What I usually like to do is click on Detailed Analysis, and then it'll just automatically analyze. Once the solve has finished, you simply just click Create Camera, and then you'll have a 3D camera tracker layer added. And if we want to add text, just go over here, and then I'm just going to add something like text. And then you'll see that, oh, nothing's happening because we need to tick the 3D layer box down here. And that will make it so that it's part of the space. I think I'll definitely bring it forward. You can do that by using these arrows, or just press P, and then you'll be able to change the axis, the Z axis. There's the height there. We'll be adding our motion graphics. So we'll just go to our project file and then click Assets and just drag and drop them. I think I really like this thorn one, so I'm just going to add that again. Check the 3D layer box, and there we go, right there. Very, very cool. Bro, that's so cool. Gonna add a few more. Bam, bam. Let's add all of them. Maybe here. For this one, I think I'll rotate it. Oh, wow, that's cool. Maybe down here at the bottom. And then maybe something in the space. Getting too carried away here. Maybe like that. What's that look like? That's cool. Okay, now that we have something like that, I'll show you my favorite feature when using After Effects, and which is you go down here into 3D Tracker, go here, and then go to Camera Options, check Depth of Field, and then play around with the aperture slider. Ah, that's so cool. Something like that, you know what I mean? Wow. Now, obviously, it looks slightly unrealistic because this footage, everything is sort of in focus. But you know what I mean? Like, this is just an extra step that I usually have to do manually in DaVinci. So it's really nice that it's implemented like right on the camera tracker. And yeah, that's pretty much it, dudes. So this last method that I'm going to show you is probably the most accurate way for you to track your footage, especially if you're working in a 3D software like Blender. And I'm aware that Blender has their own motion tracking feature, but I found this to be way more accurate. So this is a standalone motion tracking match moving software. And this software is actually what I used to create this video right here. And I just wanted to let you know that this software does exist. It's called Synthesize. It is paid. You do have a free trial, free version where you can play around with it and test it out. But I think you'll have like a what do you call it, watermark in your footage or something. You'll have some kind of watermark. But I did pay for this for like 2 months just because I had to use it at one point, but I don't really use it that often. So I still have it here, and I just wanted to show it to you just because it is out there. And if you are struggling with motion tracking or camera tracking, this might be an option for you to use. Yeah, I'll quickly show you how I use it. You just open your footage like this and select your frame rate. Okay. And then you click auto. You'll also get like a like an error, pixel error thingy, just like DaVinci Resolve. So it's good to have the information, and you can like edit it so that you get a more accurate solve. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I forgot how to do it. I think it's something like cleanup trackers or something. Bad frames, fix, and then go. I think that's how you do it. Yeah, so we get 0.8. Yeah, and you can keep doing that to keep fixing the footage. But yeah, this is really a really nice software. And then I think what you do is you export that info. So export, and then you have a ton of different ways you can export this. I think you'll be able to export some sort of After Effects file. I'm not too sure because I've only used this for Blender, but yeah, this does exist. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me just quickly summarize like those 3 different camera tracking options. So DaVinci Resolve, it's really convenient, especially if you're using DaVinci Resolve already to edit. And it's really nice that it has the feature of detecting your solve error, just so you know like if that camera track is good or bad. It is a little bit slower in my experience, and I've had a lot of errors, so there's been a lot of footage where it's been hard for me to get like a good track. It is node based as well, so if you're not too used to that, I'm still not used to it, to be honest. So I do struggle with like doing extra things. It is just a little bit more difficult for me to use compared to After Effects. And if you do choose to use After Effects, it is I would say it's a little bit faster, but it is missing that feature of like getting those solve errors. So yeah, but in my experience, it's been pretty good so far. And I do like the features like the depth of field where you can change that around, and I'm more used to that. And the last option, Synthesize, yeah, like if you're working on a 3D program like Blender and you don't like the tracking feature on Blender, this is a really good software to use. Yeah, if you guys are interested in any other tutorials or anything you'd like to know, just comment down below. Leave a like in this video if you've made it this far, and subscribe if you want to subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.